Bleeding Purple Podcast. Deep Brown steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Diggs. Stay on. Oh my God! 30, no tag. Are you kidding me? It's the Minneapolis. No way! Stephon Diggs in the middle of the Vikings have walked off on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle. I can't believe what I just saw. What an unbelievable play.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. Hello, good sir. How are you?
What's up?
Real quick before we get to all the free agent tampering stuff, because we're definitely going to spend a lot of time talking about that. The Vikings, since we last spoke, have signed Anthony Harris, bringing him back for a year. Woo!
Ooh.
Just a huge acquisition. Real crazy. I mean, we've talked about it previously. We kind of wanted them to upgrade in that
They probably don't
position.
need to sign anybody else.
Yeah, they're probably
They're
good
good.
on free agency
They're good.
for this year.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up first, was so that we could just discuss how little they
Yeah.
have to do now that
Yeah.
they brought in Anthony Harris. High quality player, real good signing here, I think. What are your thoughts on them bringing him back?
Not much. For
Mhm.
depth, they'll probably draft someone at safety.
I was
maybe.
just going to say, this is almost a sure indication that they're going to be drafting somebody at that position, right?
Yeah,
Would
it's-
you
I feel like it's
disagree?
more of him being like a placeholder. I mean, he could make the final 53 or whatever next year, but there's no guarantee
Mhm.
that happening.
And he did not look awful when he played, but, I mean...
Yeah, but he doesn't have the same, like, it's kind of weird to say, but like this same presence on the field that Sendejo has
Mhm.
on the field. Like, wide receivers have to like keep their head on a swivel
Yeah.
and make sure that Sendejo's not going to take their head off when they go across the middle. I don't think you have to really worry about that with Anthony Harris. He's not that kind of player.
Yeah.
It's more coverage and just straight up tackle.
It's kind of like the A.J. McCarron thing. If Anthony Harris can't beat out Sendejo for that spot, are we really that worried about bringing him on?
Sendejo's gotten better, but he's
Mm.
not a game changer, I guess. But
Are we getting spoiled now? Are we just now expecting everybody on the defense to be an all-pro?
yeah, they are. I don't really know why we should expect anything less.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Every position should be all pro.
That should be the entire all-pro squad, should just be
Yeah.
the Vikings
Like-
starters. Hey, man, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the free agent tampering period. Woo!
We're gonna have music for this too.
Oh, God, we are, for sure. 100%.
Legal.
Legal tampering period.
Legal tampering.
Legal tampering period. Thank you. That will be in the sound as well. I
Biggest
gotta-
oxymoron I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my! The whole thing is so dumb, and here's the other thing. They've been talking. Reports have been coming out. What is preventing them?
Probably since
FaceTime.
Probably since the Super Bowl.
Does FaceTime count as a face-to-face meeting? They've been talking about this on the radio in Minneapolis a fair amount today.
Oh, yeah,
Just
so you can use
FaceTime?
what? Email.
Yeah,
You can use
I mean,
email.
yeah, but
I don't know
text?
if the NFL if all teams have like NFL distributed phones and they keep
yeah, how do you
tabs on
police that?
stuff. I don't know. You can't really.
I don't think you can either.
You-
I think this.
Can you FaceTime on your computer too? I mean, it's just basically what we're doing right now.
It is exactly what we're doing. Yeah, so I don't know how those rules work. And I'm hearing, too, that Cousins is like, first he was going to take visits, and it was going to take a little while for him to figure it out.
Yeah.
Then we hear that he's not taking any visits, and then I also kind of hear that he's taking one visit. That's here. Then we hear that he's in the Cleveland airport. We hear that he's in the Minneapolis airport. We hear that...
some people are just trying to get the name out there, pretty much.
What can we believe? Where are we at? Where do you think realistically the Vikings are at with Kirk Cousins right now?
I think the most common thing we've heard is that the final two teams are the Jets and the Vikings. That seems to be repeated over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure people have continued to write that over and over and over again. I was sitting there today. I'm like, how many times can we write this article over and over and over again? Because we've known this for probably a good week now.
Nothing has changed. Yes, nothing has changed.
Yeah, and it's like people throwing other teams in there, like the Cardinals, and who else is in there? Is it the Browns or this? Who's the other team?
Denver.
Oh yeah. It's just
the thing that we have to keep in mind, and that everybody should keep in mind this time of year, is what are we looking for? What are you trying to get? You're trying to get clicks, and if you are the person who is posting Kirk Cousins' farewell article to whatever it's being posted to, how are you going to get the most clicks? You're going to tag the two most likely teams. Everybody's been writing about it. You tag that. Was it Kirk Cousins? I don't know. Does that mean anything? I don't think it does.
He signed it.
Oh, I mean,
on the computer.
Yeah. Electronic. I mean, I've done that before too, but I don't know, man. What can you...
It's a lot. There's a lot of smoke everywhere.
A lot.
You gotta sort through it. It's really hard right now.
Are we thinking
just throwing stuff from all different sorts of directions?
Yes.
Just kind of try and figure out, which people are actually legit and which people are just all of a sudden they have sources.
Exactly.
It just so happens that, they happen to have sources now.
And then the fake accounts start happening too, which are awful.
Yeah, those get a lot of people.
They do.
They even get some of the people like the Pelceros and the Rappaports. They'll retweet those and be like, damn it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It happens a lot. Here's the problem with free agency now and the legal tampering period and all this. It's so easy to get misinformation, bad information, and to just create your own. Well, I'm a source now, and here's this, and here's information, and you can float all that stuff out there.
Especially when people are like, well, I don't want to reveal my sources because I don't have any.
Yeah. So we never know.
So
no one's ever going to know. But yeah, what we do know, according to Ian Rappaport, is that Arizona's in the mix because Kirk Cousins' sister lives in Phoenix. Write that down. That's very important. That's a real thing.
Well, if planes existed, then maybe the Vikings would have a better chance.
Mm-hmm. But as it stands now, having to travel via covered wagon from Phoenix to
all you can do.
I mean, it's especially and winter seasons happen as well. So it's just not practical anymore. So we should probably give up.
That's a factor for sure.
Mm-hmm. Something to consider. All right, let's stop talking about Cousins for a little bit. Tom Pelissero says the Vikings have reached out to Drew Brees. Or rather, Drew Brees' agents, because those are the rules for the legal tampering period.
Yeah.
Let's not get those confused. We don't want to accuse the Vikings of doing any illegal tampering.
Don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Because they could lose a first-round pick over that. And I refuse to have this podcast be the reason that our favorite team loses. It probably would get us some more listens. So actually, maybe we'll discuss that off. Yeah, we'll talk about that later when we're not rolling. Anywho, they've reached out to Drew Brees. Do you think that this is just something that they kind of have to do because if he's a free agent and you don't reach out, you're crazy? Is there any chance that Drew Brees goes to Minnesota? This is now becoming, by the way, a trending Twitter topic. This is now like a big talking point.
Well, there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about on the first day of the legal tampering period, so this is kind of the only thing that gets people going.
generates clicks.
They gotta kind of There's this little thing that the Vikings talked to him, and so did many other teams. But the Vikings are included in there because they're in search of a quarterback. But every team should be contacting the Saints, except for maybe the Packers and Patriots.
The Packers are set now because they got Deshaun Kaiser, so they're good. They're great at the QB position for a while.
They're good. Future is set.
Dunzo, that's market 60 years.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about on the first day, so I'm sure we're a bunch of producers or whatever, and like let's drive this narrative. Let's talk about this. There's not a whole lot to talk about, so let's make this and maybe drag it out a little bit because it's probably not going to happen.
Because we're the NFL Network. This is all we got today.
Yeah, I mean they had to have stuff to talk about, and Kirk Cousins didn't sign anywhere, so they had to figure something out to talk about. There's other stuff, but it's pretty intriguing if it's true, but it's not. Like the fact that he could end up in Minnesota, I'm pretty sure that it's just the Saints and Brees and his team or whatever are waiting for Cousins to sign his deal, and then as soon as that happens, then the Saints will be like, okay, we'll give you more money than him, because it's probably what he wants. He doesn't want to be like, wait, how did Kirk Cousins get more money than me? Mm-hmm. I won a Super Bowl.
You know what I was thinking recently? Do you think that players and agents use these negotiations to set the market, perhaps, where they discuss with other teams and then can go to the Vikings like, hey, we got X amount of dollars from the Jets.
I don't think
what do you got?
Yeah, I don't think they're that smart. I don't think they're thinking of that through. I think a lot of them just, looking out for themselves, which they should be. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that could be the case. That sounds, that could be safe for the conspiracy theory podcast, but,
You know how I do. I'm all over it. I'd love to see Drew Brees in Vikings
everybody
uniform.
would. But I just 0.00001% chance of that happening.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Here's my one problem: is people are like, "Oh, we can give him $30 million a year." What?
Yeah. Why is one okay and the other not? Exactly. I was going to try and bring that up as far as the money was concerned. Do you give him a ton of money and say whatever to the defense, or do you do the
No, I don't. I personally don't like. If it's between Cousins and Brees, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're crazy," but I'd probably rather have Cousins just because Brees is getting older. He might not. He might only have 2 years left. Cousins could have 10.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about who the better quarterback is right now. I think that's an easy call, but I think you're right. There's so much more that goes into signing a quarterback because of, like you said, 10 years versus 5 years versus. I mean that.
And I don't think
those are all things you have to take into account when you're signing a quarterback.
Based on some stuff, what Zimmer said recently, I don't think they're looking for a quarterback just for, a couple of years. They want someone to be there for a while so that they can build the team around, maintain that success instead of, just putting all their eggs in one basket and going for a Super Bowl and then having to, figure out, start all over again, possibly.
Well, and that means if you're Mike Zimmer or you're Rick Spielman, if you're putting everything in on a short window, you're almost guaranteeing that you're going to lose your job at the end of that window. Yeah. Like having a quarterback that gives you longevity almost like immediately allows you to keep your job for longer than you would otherwise.
Yeah. Even look at somebody like Joe Flacco or Andy Dalton. Like Marvin Lewis probably lasted there longer than he should have because of Andy Dalton being there. Not that Andy Dalton's the greatest in the world, but he's consistent. It's a position they don't really have to worry about right now. Same thing with John Harbaugh. He's a good coach, but without Joe Flacco being there and being consistent or semi-reliable, then John Harbaugh might not be in Baltimore right now. So even if a quarterback is not a Hall of Famer, just having some consistency at that position,
yes, having a quarterback that's good enough to start over a long term, 3 to 5 seasons. It doesn't matter if, like you said, it doesn't matter if they're a Hall of Famer. Just having that there can keep those jobs open, or rather filled. As head coaches are concerned.
So if you can win at a consistent basis, then that's going to keep you around longer. And even if you get let go, then you're going to probably easily find a job somewhere else.
Bridgewater is the backup plan, according to Ben.
Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater is the Vikings' backup plan. Mr. Ted.
Someone.
No, Pro Bowl quarterback Ted Bridgewater.
Oh, okay.
He had an injury. I'm not sure if you knew, but he hurt
What?
his knee. So there's been a lot of, no, seriously, a lot of talk.
Spoiler alert.
A lot of talk about it. So I'm surprised you didn't know that with your job that you have writing.
Must have missed that.
Must have missed that one. Must have been asleep for 7, 9.
Probably wasn't
2
that
years.
big of a story.
No, I mean it wasn't. It was like a back page.
Nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah, back page kind of thing. Teddy is Plan B, according to this Ben Volin from the Boston Globe.
Yeah, it's
And-
the Patriots. He's the guy that broke the Bradford is going to be active.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. So he's got some connection.
Some cred. He basically says that they reached out to Teddy and told Teddy that was their plan. How do you...
At the combine? Well,
How
they
do you-
probably were like... They're probably like, well, we're going to go after Cousins. We just want, to know that. And then, perhaps, if things don't work out with that, then we would like to, see if things can work out with you, if you're still available. It's not going to be like, hey, wait for us.
Mm-hmm. Put yourself in Teddy Bridgewater's shoes. How do you feel about that?
I mean, what are his best options, really, at this point? Like, he's not going to get... I don't really know if there is a team out there that's going to give him a guaranteed starting job for next year. The Vikings might be the only team that could possibly even do that.
Yeah, I think they would be. They're the only team that should be able to, given that they're the only team that has seen him practice or play or anything.
The Giants would be the other team just because they have
Good
Shermer
point. Yes,
been
good
there
point.
the past 2 years, but they have Eli too, so he wouldn't be starting there anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what his options really are.
Have you heard, or the rumors, have you read that Teddy is looking for like a $12 to $15 million range thing? Have you read that?
I have not heard that.
A coworker said that. I don't know if it was true, but I was like, that's a lot to ask for Teddy Bridgewater.
6 to 7 million a year.
That makes a lot more sense to me. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Big, like lots of incentives and stuff, just because.
Only reason I thought it was maybe practical is because if he wants to be a starter, that's probably as close to starter money as he.
Yeah, well, he could sign a contract to where he could eventually earn that in like a later year, which is probably the type of contract he's going to look at at best. But yeah, I heard some stuff today where it could be. It could be a couple of days. It could be next week that he doesn't get an offer from a team or something like that. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board.
No, I don't think so either.
Teams are definitely going to have to do their due diligence and like serious research before they give him some money. Unfortunately, but that's what you got to do when when his leg almost falls off.
Exactly. When your leg falls off, people are going to be worried that your leg's going to fall off again. That's how.
Especially when it's allegedly non-contact.
Yeah, because you just were dropping back. You're going to do that a lot, Teddy. We're going to have to make sure your knee doesn't fall off. It's a practical request, I think, personally. Yeah, that's just me. What are some of the other needs for the Vikings free agency-wise? What are some moves that you would like to see them make, I guess?
I think another tight end with Rudolph, and I think Rudolph's kind of maybe coming to the back end of his career. He had 7 touchdowns last year. So, but he was really their red zone option. He didn't really do a whole lot anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then they've got David Morgan. He's more of like a blocker.
Mm-hmm. I like David Morgan a lot, but I don't think he's athletic enough to.
Yeah. So they could get
be a
someone
viable option.
More of in the mold of some of the more modern tight ends, I guess, that are more maybe even that are closer to wide receivers.
Well, they've been trying to do it for several years with like Michael Pruitt and who was the one, the dude last year, Bucky Hodges. Bucky Hodges was the one I was thinking of. They want that kind of a tight end. It's pretty obvious
There's
to see.
Kyle Carter, another guy they had.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Carter, remember that name? Yeah, he was on the team last year, but he's on the Giants. He's on the Giants now, I think. But yeah, somebody like that. I think either in the draft or free agency. There's a couple free agent tight ends out there. They've been linked to Trey Burton from the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
He's been linked to a lot of teams though. So
Is Jimmy Graham available?
he is, but he's going to be too expensive. If the Vikings are spending all their money on Cousins, which they're not spending all their money, so let's clarify that first off. But yeah, I don't think a player like him, when they're spending like a ton of money on a Kyle Rudolph already, I don't think they want to spend another boatload on another tight end when tight end's not really like their essential part of their offense.
Yeah, and the player that Jimmy Graham was, I think he's going to get more money now because of how good he used to be. He's not that good anymore.
I heard he might go back to the Saints actually. So.
Yeah.
But there's that. They need to improve the middle of their offensive line. Both guards. Today the Vikings they put a second round tender on Nick Easton.
Yes, I forgot to write that down. Nick Easton. What do you think about that? Are you?
I'm fine with that. I think it's a good idea to do that. He wasn't bad last year. He did pretty good, and that way they can draft somebody and mold him into a starter in a year or two. Because they're also going to need to do that on the right side of the line with Joe Berger either leaving or staying. Either way, he's not going to be there much longer.
Yep.
So they got to figure out that. There's a couple guards. Josh Sitton, he was on the Bears. He's getting a little old, but he's got experience. He was with the Packers and Bears, so he knows the division. There's a couple of other guys out there. On defense, I saw today that the Vikings are going to look in the free agency for a nickel cornerback.
Ooh.
So they want to, figure something else that's not Mackenzie Alexander or Terrence Newman. Nickel Roby-Coleman is a really good nickel corner. He's like 5'9", so he's a little smaller, but he fits the mold and what you need to be for that position.
Mm-hmm.
He was with the Rams last year, formerly with the Bills. There's a couple other guys out there. Defensive tackle for Tom Johnson is looking. He's going to explore the market. So he might not be back. So we'll have to figure out something in there. There's a guy named Bo Allen from the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Minnetonka High School.
Ooh, interesting. One of us.
Yeah, so he went to Wisconsin.
Oh, nope, never mind. Can't have him.
So
he's tainted.
And he was on the Eagles. But he's a big dude. He's like 6'3", 330 pounds. So I think him and Linval next to each other would be a pretty big duo. That would probably rival in like the Williams Wall.
Mm-hmm. Ndamukong Suh. People are talking a lot about Ndamukong Suh.
That's not gonna happen.
He doesn't seem like a very good fit for that locker room either.
Well, yeah.
I think he gets a bad rap, but that I don't think they want.
They also have Linval Joseph, so they don't need somebody like that because Linval Joseph is arguably better than Ndamukong Suh. Some people
at essentially the same position.
Yeah, and cheaper.
Yeah,
probably. People would argue with that. That's fine, but the argument can be made either way that Joseph and Suh are, one's better than the other or the other way around.
Mm.
But yeah, there aren't a whole lot of positions that they need to look for in free agency. Just depth-wise is really what they need to worry about. I heard Kai Forbath, they want to bring him back, but they're waiting. They're waiting to see what goes down with Cousins and stuff like that before they give him a deal.
Yeah,
that's still a situation where I think they could draft somebody and have them compete in camp because we both know that Forbath was not a guarantee.
No, he was not.
When he went on the field last year, especially extra points. Which I looked up this morning because I wrote about it, that he missed more than any kicker who attempted 20 or more extra points last year. And he kicked indoors, so that's not good.
Not good at all. It's not good at all.
So, yeah, just depth-wise, they got to get a little better in case, injuries and stuff. And I'm sure Spielman will get a couple more draft picks, and that'll improve the depth as well. They got like 10 of 11 starters returning on defense. Most of the starters returning on offense.
Yeah, they were in the NFC Championship game. They don't have a lot of holes to fill. That's a good.
And a lot of their players are young. So.
Do you think all of these mock drafts have them taking an offensive lineman in the first round? Do you think that
Yeah, I mean,
makes sense for them? I mean,
depending on who's on the board at the time, they might just go best player available. Depending on unless it's like a quarterback or a running back. Even though some people would be like, if Lamar Jackson is there, you gotta take him. But if they got Cousins, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, it wouldn't make very much sense to do that. Although, yeah, I don't know.
You could just play him a wide receiver, anyways.
Yeah. Sign up Bill Polian and just
yeah, and the 30th pick, I think they'll be looking at either offensive guard, maybe a center. They can move offline the guard too because he has experience with that.
Yep.
Safety, corner, defensive, just basically the positions we just talked about. Defensive tackle, and then maybe even a running back. Because Latavius Murray, this could be his last year. So I don't think it's not going to take a lot to cut him next year if they feel like they want to do that.
Yeah.
And then they could have a rookie working with Dalvin Cook, that form that duo. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure no one will predict what they're going to do between now and then. So it should be pretty boring.
Definitely. That probably won't happen. Let's talk a little bit about Cleveland and what they kind of went nuts doing with their trades and things like that. I don't think it makes them relevant. What was the highlight of their moves, I guess, was Tyrod Taylor. Landry.
Demarius Randall. Took him away from the Packers, which is nice.
Which is real nice.
But apparently he's moving to safety, too.
Oh, interesting.
So they got a quarterback. They should still probably draft somebody.
They definitely should. I think Tyrod Taylor is good, but I think he's the perfect placeholder, couple year guy while you groom young quarterbacks.
I don't understand him because he's got the talent, but he's trigger shy. I feel like kind of like Sam Bradford. Like at times he'll just lights out, and other times he'll be like, "What are you doing? Throw the ball."
Yeah. He is. I really like watching him play, but he's really perplexing in not only the decisions that he makes, but like you said, where there are times where he is so accurate and so good, and then other times where it's who are you throwing that ball to, and why would you ever do that?
Yeah, or he hesitates to make a decision and hold on to the ball too long, and he's pretty athletic, so he can move around, but sometimes that gets him into trouble, going back too far.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've got a bunch of friends from the Buffalo area, and they seem to be happy that he's gone, moving on.
Interesting. For Peterman, who do they have now? What's their...
Well, they just actually acquired the Bengals' first-round pick today for an offensive lineman in a trade. So they now have the 12th pick and I believe the 22nd pick in the first round.
Yeah, interesting. So they might be moving up again.
They can either wait for someone to fall to them, a quarterback, or they can use those picks to move up because I believe they have 2 second-round and 2 third-round picks as well.
That will be interesting. I feel like this is going to be a fun draft. There's a lot of goofy stuff that has been happening beforehand and a lot of positioning.
Anytime there's more than 4 or 5 quarterbacks that are pretty legitimate, it's going to be pretty entertaining. Remember when Christian Ponder went to the Vikings? That was pretty exciting.
Super fun.
Because they missed out on Jake Locker, so they had to get Christian Ponder.
God, who else was Ryan Mallett in that draft as well?
Blaine Gabbert. That was the Cam Newton draft, actually, I think.
Oh, was it? No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Oh, Christian Ponder. Good Lord.
Yeah, but the Browns,
Do you think that's going to make them relevant? Because they have
They
the
could
number
be.
one pick, they have the number 4 pick. I mean, not that those guys. I think Barkley, if they take him number 1, he could contribute right away. But I don't think any quarterback that you take in that round is going to
I saw somebody
make
that
you
said,
a winner.
that said they shouldn't draft Barkley number 1, but I haven't seen like a convincing argument against that. I don't really know why you wouldn't take a player like that.
Yeah,
like, I get he's a running back, but he's not a normal running back.
No, he's not. And he's the kind of player where if you don't take him, he won't be there when you're picking it. Even at 4, they might not get him again at 4. He might be gone already.
Who picks second? The Giants?
Giants or Jets, maybe?
I think the Giants do.
Giants?
So, yeah, if the Browns don't pick him, I'm pretty sure the Giants would pick him because they need a running back.
Mm-hmm.
That would make their team probably a lot better immediately with
Yeah.
Beckham and Pat Shurmur's offense.
Definitely take a lot of pressure off of the quarterback too, not having to do so much, not having to force the ball to the Odell Beckham.
The Browns will figure out a way to mess it up. As good as some people might think they are going to be, they always seem to figure out a way to mess it up, either with ownership getting in the way or coaches just being stupid. And at least their new GM seems like he knows kind of what he's doing, but at the same time, he's probably going to want to bring in his own coach next year.
Yes, I think that's all you can take away from this is that the GM is trying to make them better, which is good.
That was a good hire, so we'll see if they can keep him around because they haven't really had a good history of doing that either.
Yeah. Well, and that was, I don't know. Congratulations, you guys. You're going to win 5 games.
Ooh.
Crazy. Overreaction week. It just drives me nuts.
Hey,
we literally discussed sisters in Phoenix earlier because that's where we're at right now.
Well, I mean, they're probably now going to be the current paper champions, taking over from the Jaguars, who've been the repeat paper champions for the
I was going to say 2 years running.
It finally paid off.
Then they did play well and made it a long way. But who's your quarterback?
Yeah, it's kind of important.
Yeah, and no good draft pick.
I mean, unless you're one of those people that's like, well, the Ravens won with Trent Dilfer, and the Bucks won with Brad Johnson.
I get so tired of that argument.
Yeah,
it's so different.
Because people don't realize how great the rest of the team was.
Yeah. There were so many Hall of Fame players on there, and the quarterback wasn't.
I'm pretty sure Brian Billick could have played quarterback for that Ravens team,
and they would have. Yes, yeah. That argument drives me crazy.
They had a streak during the season where they didn't score a touchdown for 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was their winning streak to end that season was it was stupid. It was 10 games or something like that. They lost 1 game and then just rattled a ton off.
Because they had 19 shutouts or something like that.
Yeah, they were, and that Trent Dilfer. Of course he did.
He was the 3rd quarterback they used that year too.
Yeah, because who was the other one? Banks was the other one, I think?
Tony Banks.
Yeah.
Name drop.
Crazy. Ding. Oh, God. What else? I mean, free agent, nothing really happened. I'm checking my phone. There's no updates. This is the most boring tampering period ever.
Well, yeah, Richard Sherman, he signed with the 49ers.
Yeah, he didn't even count, though, because that was before the tampering period. Because he was a separate deal. Because
he got released.
So, yeah, what do you think about the money that they gave him coming off of an Achilles injury?
Well, first off, he negotiated that deal himself because he doesn't have an agent.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's very interesting to me.
He went to Stanford, so he's a smart dude.
Mm-hmm. No, not that he wouldn't be capable of it. That's just out of the ordinary.
Oh, yeah. Players don't do that. But it seems like it's a heavily incentivized contract. It's based on him, in the Pro Bowl or in an All-Pro team or something like that.
And when you're your agent, that's an easy call because I'm the bomb and I'm going to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to make all that money.
I think it was Joe Thomas from the Browns today that said like he got killed on that contract, and then like Sherman responded, well, like I wanted to gamble on myself, and so
and he did.
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do, then good for him. But I think it's a good signing for the 49ers. They're up and coming. I think they'll be a little sleeper next year. But
yeah, do you think they're a possible playoff team all of a sudden?
I do. Yeah, I do. They're going to be in a tough division, though. They got the Rams. They're trading for everybody, too.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, they're probably still going to be tough. They got Russell Wilson. He's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then even the Cardinals. David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, whoever they get a quarterback. So it's going to be tough for them, but I think the 49ers will be pretty good. Garoppolo hasn't lost a start in his career yet, so why would we think he would lose in the future?
Yeah, I mean, that might be a small sample size, but you could probably run with those numbers and assume that he'll never lose.
You only need
again.
a small sample size to make an accurate judgment on any player, really.
Obviously.
Yeah. You only need like one season as a starter.
We wouldn't be needing this. We wouldn't have this show if we,
Yeah. You only need like 3 snaps in a game to judge how a player has progressed in like the past 2 years since his last start.
And if they're worthy of giving the franchise,
That's all you need. Well, if you throw an interception, then that's good. We're just going to have to actually ask you to go.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, pal. Your plan B.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine like that how that conversation went. Like,
I don't think it was like that.
Sorry,
people make it a little more theatrical than it probably was.
I think you're right.
It's it's their job.
Oh my goodness! Have you seen the other thing I wanted to talk about was the brand spanking new practice facility in Egan that they have moved into. They now have the future draft board on the wall where they can click the thing and then the thing comes up over here and then they can compare the guys. Yep.
I don't think they'll let Sid use that.
I don't think he probably can't see it from wherever he is sitting.
Have you seen his tape recorder?
Yeah, or not like in real life, but I've seen photos of the tape recorder that he still puts up there.
I always I'm watching player interviews, and all of a sudden I see like his
massive
getting, like almost in their mouth.
Yeah, he got really aggressive during a game last year because he thought it was like an exclusive interview thing, and they were like in the locker room with everybody, and somebody was like, asked the guy a question, and Sid like, that's an exclusive, and people were like, Sid, you're gonna get it later, man, calm down. Yeah, it was like a thing where they were like, whoa, Sid might be. Yeah, I can't remember what game it was, but yeah, it was kind of a thing that they talked about for a hot minute. That guy is ancient.
Yeah, I like him though.
Yeah, I mean,
he just wrote something on how Case Keenum should be the starter. I didn't agree with that, but I more power to him being that age and still writing away, going to games and covering and stuff.
He's done so many things in this town. If I'm not mistaken, he at one point was the general manager of the Minneapolis Lakers.
I was going to say, he either played or I know him and Bud Grant were acquaintances.
Yeah, I think Bud Grant played.
Yeah, Bud Grant played basketball. I know that.
Yeah, he's old. I don't know. He's got statues of him all over the place. Every press box in every stadium is the Sid Hartman blankety blank press box. Everybody. He's just like a walking legend, a living legend.
His grandson he's a writer for, I think it's The Last Word.
Oh, really?
Sports, whatever.
Interesting.
The Vikings blog they have for that website. Yeah, it's his grandson, I think.
I know
his name's Eli. You might have interacted with him a couple times on Twitter. He's pretty active.
Interesting.
Yeah, I enjoy him. I enjoy when Zimmer goes up to the podium and I hear, "Good job out there." Zimmer's like, "Thanks."
Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what else should we talk about? I don't know, free agent, tampering. It's kind of... I don't really want to talk about Cousins anymore, man. I'm not going to lie. It's been a lot of weeks.
We can give predictions. You can give... Do you think he's going to be signed?
Oh, like when it
If
happens.
so, well, that or like in like length contract, stuff like that.
Let's do that.
So I think he's going to be signed by the Vikings.
Okay.
Though the argument to go to Arizona is it's pretty, it's pretty hard to pass up.
It is. It's
His sister right there.
yeah.
They could be neighbors.
They could be neighbors.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he'll sign in Minnesota.
What do you think the terms will be? How long is the contract?
I think it'll be 4 years with an option for a fifth. And I think that'll be a team option. I don't think that'll be Cousins' option.
Ooh. Dun dun dun. I'll add that
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. I think it'll be longer because whatever money the Vikings have to fully guarantee, they have to. Somebody was saying how they have to write that check like immediately.
Yeah. And
And
that's
somebody was saying how like the Wills don't have that much money. I'm like, are you serious? You see this practice center they just built in the stadium,
and
like,
they paid for the whole thing themselves. That whole thing confused me. Where I was like, oh, they can't do that because they'd have to cut the check. I was like, they just built that, and all of the surrounding land that thing is built on is all
Plaza and
theirs.
stuff?
Yeah, that's all theirs that they are going to rent out and build.
everything.
Yeah, they're just going to make their own neighborhood over there,
Yeah.
but
And
they don't have enough money to like cut a
They
$90
get
million
revenue
check.
from the team. They get revenue from the team too.
Yeah, so I didn't understand that. I saw that tweet, and I was very confused. I also would like to talk a little bit about escrow. Don't know what it means. Like the word a lot. I'd like to use it more, but I don't.
This has to do with banks and stuff,
Yeah,
and like keeping it like
I'm not a bank guy.
builds like interest and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
But I like the word, and I'd like to say it more. So
It's
I
a
just thought I'd
fancy
throw
word.
that
It's
out
also another fancy word that people like to use.
there. I would like to use more fancy words. I think it would help me both on the podcast and in my writing stuff if I could use words like escrow.
I think he'll get like 90 to 100 million. That'll be the contract like total value, but the fully guaranteed will be around like 65.
65 million guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed, and maybe like 75 guaranteed. So he can get 75.
Yeah.
But so he's got to be on the roster and stuff like that, and can't be injured. I just think just all that just stupid stuff about like 90 million fully guaranteed is just it sounds outrageous to me.
It's so crazy. It would I think it could happen, but it would
because
be
of
so
all the
crippling
other
to
quarterbacks.
whoever. Yeah. Like it
Because
just
everyone is waiting for him to sign, pretty much.
that's what in like the conspiracy theory part of my brain wants him to sign a $90 million fully guaranteed 3-year contract just because it would everything would be chaos after that.
But at the same
Aaron
time,
Rodgers
so-
ain't signing a deal after that, and Matt Ryan isn't signing that
At the
deal.
same time, the salary cap continues to increase, so stuff like that probably won't really matter in 2 years. People are gonna be like, "Oh, he's pretty cheap,"
That's crazy.
because somebody like Russell Wilson or Cam Newton's gonna get like $40 million a year.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that people I don't think are talking enough about is that he will not be the highest paid quarterback for more than like a month. Yeah. And then in fast forward 2 years, he won't even I mean, he might be in the top 10. Might be.
Hopefully,
But like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of money running around. I don't think it's that crazy. I think that he's going to sign with the Vikings, Mr. Kirk Cousins. I think it's going to be 3 years.
ooh,
And
Sure.
I think it's player option for the 4th.
okay,
Because I think they want to hit the market again while he's still in his prime.
yeah, that's what people are saying.
And get
Wants
like big money.
double dip.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like with the Sherman thing, that's putting a lot on your back to keep performing at that level. That teams want to pay you a ton of money when you're a free agent again.
Yeah. Because if it doesn't go well, then you're not going to be able to. I mean, you're not. Yeah.
Or you could sign a long-term contract where you'll get more money.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. That's what he's got to figure out.
And for a guy, I mean, he's got so much money. He's made so much money. But I still think, I think it's going to be a stupid number. I think it's going to be a number. I think the Vikings are going to win the bidding war, but I think people are going to lose their minds about how much he's going to get paid.
But it's not going to be as much as people think, probably.
What is the highest paid quarterback right now? Is Matthew Stafford?
Yes.
And that was $65 million guaranteed?
60 guaranteed.
$60 million guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. I think he's going to earn 90 guaranteed overall.
Stafford can.
Yeah.
Over the length of the contract.
Yeah.
I think Cousins is going to get minimum $70 million guaranteed.
Fully?
Yep, fully guaranteed. Just like from the minute he signs it, $70 million, and then can go as high as
more.
80.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be more than Stafford, just because that's just what happened.
Yeah, just as the benchmark. Yeah, that's always the way it progresses.
Yeah.
I think people are going to hate it, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. And I think because Cousins wants to double dip, I think there's a very good chance that it kind of all falls apart and they just want to go their separate ways after 3 seasons with Cousins.
Yeah. When people argue against it, I really just wonder, like, what do you think their other options are?
Yeah. I do not think there is a better option available right now than him.
If he's
I think
available,
it's by a mile the best option.
Yeah, if you're able to get him and he's willing to come at a fairly decent price, that's how much quarterbacks cost.
It is.
Good.
Exactly.
That's how much good quarterbacks cost.
That's the other thing that is frustrating me about that argument so much. It's like, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. This is what they cost. And if you want a guy that can be competent over the long term, and like from Keenum last year, that's the kind of quarterback that you want over a long period of time. It's an easier, safer bet to assume that Kirk Cousins is going to be able to produce that way than it is with anybody else that's available. That's all you need to look at. And that's how much they cost. So that's how much they're going to have to pay.
If you buy an iPad or you buy a MacBook, MacBook's going to cost more.
Exactly.
Because it can do more.
Exactly. And if you want one of those, you can't pay the same amount as that.
An iPad is capable of doing a lot of the same things.
God, this is the perfect analogy. This is it. You've nailed it.
As a MacBook. But it's going to take a lot more work, and it's going to be a lot harder.
Mm-hmm. Is it the best MacBook available? No, it's not. But it is still a MacBook, and it is not an iPad. We as Viking fans, all we've had is iPads.
We didn't have iPads. We have Kindles.
Kindles, yes. Yeah. God, Christian Ponder was totally a Kindle.
He was like a Tamagotchi.
Even better. Tamagotchi. That is. Whew. Been a long time.
Oh, did you hear my shout out on 1500 ESPN?
What? No.
Yeah, Phil Mack, he read my tweet last week.
When?
Last Wednesday, I want to say.
Dude.
I tweeted the tweet where I tweeted out something where here's your 4 options, take away the names and the money.
Mm-hmm.
First is a guy who's played 1 good season in 6 years. Second is a guy who hasn't started a game in 2 years, coming off a serious knee injury. Third guy hasn't played in 47% of the games because of a degenerative knee condition.
Dude.
And the fourth guy.
I listen to that all the time, and I missed it.
He was the funniest part was this is from Adam Patrick. He hosts a Vikings podcast or something. I'm like,
shut up.
I'm like, thanks.
Dude.
But that's not all I do.
Yeah. Thanks for the shout out, bud, but
yeah, no, I appreciated it. It was so cool because I saw that he retweeted it before, and I'm like, maybe I'll just listen to this before I go do anything.
Dude.
And there you go.
Super cool. I'm a big fan of the Mackey and Judd show. Big fan. I really like that show. I think they're great. Oh, hang on. Oh, DeMarco Murray's visiting the Lions tomorrow. See, that's why I hate.
That's all.
Get so excited. Every time it happens, I'm like, oh, No,
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray. I don't care.
I don't know.
Do you think it'll happen? It's going to be like Wednesday, isn't it? I mean, it's going to take a while. We're not going to know about Kirk Cousins
Wednesdays.
until...
Well, it's going to either be Wednesday or something's going to come up in like the middle of the night somewhere. And
Yeah.
It'll be like 1 o'clock. And people will be like, oh my God.
God. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking Wednesday off from doing anything else. So, see how that goes.
It just is too much.
And then probably nothing will happen until like 8 o'clock.
Exactly. It's to be like this, like, to have to pay attention to it like this just kind of makes my head hurt. You guys.
But I love this time of year though.
I mean, it's so fun because the like speculation is, and there's always something.
Yeah.
But
even the smallest thing, like his sister is in Arizona. You're like, oh yeah, that could work.
yeah, exactly, and it
Right
and
now-
it does
right-
work, and people
Yeah,
go
right
nuts
now
over it.
Cardinals fans are like, dude, his sister lives in Arizona. He's gonna come here.
So you're saying there's a chance? That's like
Yeah.
everybody is saying that right now. That's got to be the most common
Yeah.
tweet. Is
Dude, he ate at a pancake restaurant in Colorado. He's coming to the Broncos.
Dude. It's real. That's like how it happened.
I know.
I will say this though. I would like to see Case Keenum in Denver. I think they would.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. That feels right. I don't know. I hope Case
It
Keenum.
seems like a good fit.
Yeah, and I hope Case Keenum does.
I hope he
well.
doesn't go to the Jets.
Yeah,
I think
don't
that's
do
where quarterbacks go to die.
I think you're right. I think
so
you're
Sam
right.
Bradford will be a New York Jet next year.
Oh, that poor guy. He actually, the sleeves would make sense there. I could see it.
Some stuff about him today about the Bills being interested in Sam Bradford, and somebody's like, "Oh, good, Bradford could be good because he'll start off really well next year, be like comeback player of the year in the first 6 games, throw for 300 yards every year, and then blow out his knee."
Yep.
So that would be great.
Awesome. Super fun.
I was like, well, at least you already know.
Yeah, exactly. At least it's not going to surprise you when it
Yeah.
happens. I feel bad for that guy because I think he's really, really, really good at playing quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
He just can't
stay
play.
healthy.
Yeah, he just
That's
can't
part
stay
of,
healthy.
but that's part of being a good quarterback. Gotta stay healthy.
How many times have I said it, Adam? The best ability is availability.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, look at Brett Favre.
That's right.
I mean, he got addicted to painkillers, but that's another story.
I mean, that's separate, but the streak is what we focus on. It's
As
not
long
the
as he
painkiller
wasn't,
part.
as long as he wasn't smoking weed,
Mhm.
painkillers are good.
God forbid. One's illegal, one's legal. So
Yeah.
there's your good and bad.
Oh, depends where you are. But.
Cut and dry. Yeah, good call. How's the weather there, by the way?
73 today.
It's finally nice out here.
Sun came out today.
Yep, sun. It was almost 40 degrees.
Well, it's daylight saving, so it's brighter at night now. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, definitely. It was. We had a lot of natural light to start the show.
Wow.
Not anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good. Real good weather here.
Good for you.
Really looking forward to spring.
Good for you.
Thanks. Have fun in your 78-degree weather.
It's cold.
That's not funny. That's not a funny joke. Do you got anything else? I got nothing.
Nah, I think we're good.
I got nothing.
We found a way to make this pretty long.
That was, we did. Very impressive.
Hopefully, next week, I have some actual, contract
Real.
signings
Yeah.
to talk about other than practice squad players.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Give us something, please.
Anything. Anything real.
Been writing about, stupid rumors. for the
Stupid
past
rumors.
2 months.
Rampant speculation is all I've read. Ugh,
So
I'm
much.
tired of it.
Everyone's opinion where everyone should go.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, good episode. I thought we did well. There wasn't a lot there, and I thought we did well.
Yeah, good job.
All right, see
right.
you next week. Oh, wait. Oh, no, it's still Marco. All right. See you next week. Skull Vikes.
Story of the day. Bye.
Later.